Alright, so real quick, Vlogmas Day 16. I want to do a really quick review of The Dreaming, number 4. Just going through the Vertigo titles. Still have a cough. Still doing Vlogmas. Things are largely unchanged. Real quick, I mentioned in the last one, Dreaming 3, that I was concerned that SJW politics that I have seen in every single Vertigo title were going to rear their ugly head, and by and large they haven't. If it's here, it's subtle enough I can't say, well, it's obviously here. I mean, stuff's a little too on the nose, but at the same time, it brings up an interesting point I think I was making in the last one, and that's if there is some sort of politics, and it is annoying, and it is brought up in a comic, but the writing is very good. The story surrounding it, the politics isn't the entirety of the story. It's not just characters facing the audience and lecturing them, unlike grade school, morality lessons, but it's actually an entire well-fleshed out story with interesting characters. And that's the one thing the Sandman and House of Mysteries had back in the day, and The Dreaming has as well, is interesting damn characters. This cough is killing me. But, so it's like, if that's present at all in the last one, it's definitely subdued or absent in this one. There is a character who is like a lot of cliches, but then he's presented as being one. It's Judge Gallows. It's basically a nightmare that is the nightmare of being sent to the gallows. Dream of the Endless put him in the chest of securing dangerous stuff for a long time. Other characters with Dream gone decided to pull him out because they need some order. And a proper villain, a proper antagonist, has that sort of, how does the saying go? Every villain is a hero in their own story, in their own mind. And Gallows proves his shit. Like, a demon tries to sneak into the Dream, and he's like at the door with a gun in hand and like kicking the dude out and threatening him. It's like, so the dude's doing his job. So I was impressed with that. I mean, that was kind of neat. Other characters develop. I mean, the setup for other characters seems to be having a payoff now. We're actually seeing things in motion. Stuff's happening. Now, once again, I want these to be spoiler-free. I don't want to give away these stories, because this one in particular had a pretty damn good story. I mean, it wasn't amazing. It wasn't Vertigo back in the day. I can't stress this enough. These Vertigo titles are not up to the level that I'm accustomed to, that I fell in love with 25 some years ago. But this isn't bad. This is pretty good, and this is the closest. This is absolutely the closest I've had to an actual Vertigo title. It fulfills its requirement as being a well-written book, and it fulfills the requirement of being a well-written comic book, and it is definitely in the style of a Vertigo comic book, specifically in the style of Sandman and also Death and so on. It's Dream Hunters and so forth. It's a good follow-up to the history of Vertigo. If all of the titles were nearly this good, then I'd be blown over with how amazing this Vertigo revival is. As it is, it's largely been disappointment after disappointment. I understand Borderlands has just been completely, the 6-part series has been utterly canceled because of reasons. I understand, like, the writer had gotten caught up in a sex scandal, and maybe he did it or maybe he didn't. I don't know. I wasn't there. But nonetheless, that was a nauseous title that I didn't particularly enjoy reading, and I quit reading right there. I mean, going through these titles, these have very much been, you know, like an elimination. It's like if someone's good, I get another issue of them. If they're bad, I tell you how bad they are, and I don't bother to buy them again. So I'm on, this title is a good ongoing series. It's not blowing me away, but it's pretty good, and if you have some Vertigo nostalgia, this is the thing that might scratch that itch. If you're a fan of old Vertigo, I'd recommend picking it up. If you're not, you're kind of new to this scene. And the original Vertigo at this point is 25 freaking years old, so I wouldn't be surprised. So for a new reader, I don't know if I could recommend this. This is pretty weird. I honestly, for a new reader, get the trade paperbacks or just go on Comixology. Get the old Vertigo titles from the 90s. You're much better off than any of this new stuff. Unfortunately, I wish that weren't true. I can't think of any reason why it shouldn't be the other way around. Like, these new Vertigo titles should be blowing me away with how much better they are than the original titles. Because as good as the original titles are, the writers did get better. New storytelling formula have come into play. Storytelling has changed. Things evolve. I mean, the things that would have wowed us back in the day are now like kind of commonplace. So that would have been kind of cool to have some new stuff, see some new art done by, you know, digital formatting. Big fan of digital art myself, so I'd love to see some amazing new stuff. No, none of that. This is same old, same old. This is like, at best, B, mostly D-list Vertigo titles. Some of these don't even look like Vertigo titles. Most of them don't. Dreaming, I recommend it. Like I said, if you're new to this, you probably won't be invested enough to follow this. This one is like a Vertigo. It is a Vertigo comic literally, and it acts like a Vertigo comic from back in the day. It has a slow build up, a lot of characterization, interesting characters, and weird stuff is going on constantly. Vertigo in a nutshell. So I'd recommend this one, but I'd recommend the original Vertigo more. I'm babbling at this point. This was Vlogmas Day 16, done and done.